TV.
Good evening, everybody. How you doing tonight? It's your boy DC, and this is Out of the Fog. We're a local matter show that goes right across the province, hanging out with all the cool people, making all the good things happen. Tonight is no exception. We have Dr. Chris Jackman of Lens and LASIK, Dr. Jackman Eye Institute, incredible leader in the medical community. He's going to tell us all about how we can fix our eyes and change our lives. And then Steve Martin is a man of many talents. One of them is to be one of the owners of NL Promotions, which is an amazing live performance company that brings touring acts right across the province. We're going to hang out with him, talk about the power of local music, the incredible artists, and what you want to be checking out next time they come to your town. All this and more right after the break, here tonight on Out of the Fog. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and like I told you before the break, we are here to fix your eyes and change your life. And who better to talk about this with than the one and only Dr. Chris Jackman of Lens and LASIK by the Dr. Jackman Eye Institute. Hello.
Hello, Johnny. Thank you very much. That was a lovely introduction there. I really appreciate it.
Stay tuned. I'll be giving you flowers for the next 10 minutes.
That's perfect.
So I will say, you know, growing up in East Ender, and the beautiful building there on Newfoundland Drive. And before learning what I now know, I was like, what goes on in there? You know, well, do I ever know now? And I'm very lucky to be able to say hello to the Lens and LASIK and Dr. Jackman Eye Institute team and learn so much about the incredible things that they do. So I'm going to ask you some questions to get us grooving, and then we'll jump into some topics.
Sounds terrific, Donnie. Appreciate it.
What led you into the field?
Well, Donnie, I've been really very, very fortunate to be able to do ophthalmology. When I look back upon the different things that would have to sort of conspire to allow me to get to where I am, it's just been so lucky and like I said, very, very grateful. But when I look back on it, it's a number of small things that kind of guide you, just like any one of us during our path of life, of course. And probably to kind of look at the base, it probably came from a little bit of my sort of enjoyment of science and things. You know, I always sort of, you like the things that you do well at, you know, so I was always doing a little bit better sort of in science and math and things, and then that led me into science for my undergraduate degree. And really, I decided that, you know, probably medicine would be the next step because didn't know what else to really do after that. So when you're into medicine, then I was kind of looking at what area would I like to do. And I felt like something surgical would make a lot of sense because I really have kind of an interest in sort of understanding things and the like. And then I met a wonderful mentor, Dr. Arch McNamara, who I spent time with during my medical school training. And he really sort of set the bar in regards to what I felt was like an amazing sort of physician, someone who helped people with their eyesight, and being able to sort of emulate, you know, his kind of personality traits and that sort of thing was sort of like made a lot of sense to me. And then once I started actually doing some ophthalmology training, I was solely sold on it, basically. The combination of technology, helping patients of all ages, helping someone with their vision, I mean, it's terrific. I tend to have a little bit of OCD, so it really helps that as well, you know. I like attention to detail and the like. So really, it's kind of a very interesting thing because you really don't know if you're gonna like something until you do it. And I'm so fortunate that I really do love what I do, so it's really been terrific.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, going into the field, having a mentor who was able to really inspire you and help you dig deeper and understand further, the entrepreneurial journey is an interesting one because we often maybe don't consider practitioners of medicine as entrepreneurs, and not every practitioner of medicine ends up being an entrepreneur. What led you down that path? And as an entrepreneur myself, I'm very interested in this answer.
Yeah, no, well, thanks. You know, it's interesting because I think when I started down the path of medicine, I didn't really envision that at all. Like, you know, you don't really understand exactly how things work. It's not until you're in it and you see what's going on. And I think probably during my training, I was introduced to various people who did different practice medicine in different ways. And I think, you try to take the good points from the people that you meet and come across. And I really sort of started taking those. Luckily, my parents who have been entrepreneurs their entire lives.
Oh, have they? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm assuming, like, I can't say exactly how much, but I would say a large percentage of that entrepreneurial drive comes from my parents and a bit of my upbringing, but also from the people that I was introduced to during my training as well.
Yeah.
I kind of led myself that way. And really what's been nice about, I think you're right in some respects that physicians oftentimes are like sort of entrepreneurs. Sometimes they're just individual, self-employed owner-operator, like they're running their own, company, even though it's only one employee, which is themselves.
Yeah.
But when you kind of realize, as in order to do more, you need more people around you. You need to build more of a team. It does become more of a sort of a traditional type business or traditional entrepreneurial event. So I think that's kind of really been this evolution over the last sort of, almost 20 years, 19 years this summer, which is crazy. But yeah, I know, incredible. I've been practicing for 19 years.
Whoa,
I know.
Sounds like
I started at a really young age, though.
Yeah, listen, 5 years old, getting into it. I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
You're Doogie Howser.
But
exactly.
maybe. But yeah, so it's really been wonderful, and to get that kind of team behind you and to kind of continually build on that, it's been amazing, and it's really provided a great deal of enjoyment for me as well throughout the whole process. So it's a big part of what I really enjoy to do day to day.
I love it. And so, what I think of when I think of Jackman Eye Institute is firsts, and what I mean by that is the first to get the type of technology that you use, and the first to show folks via social media and other channels how it actually happens. Because I think in a lot of medical corners, there's a lot of mystery and a lot of intimidation that comes. And here you are coming through with a very person-first approach to truly inviting everybody in a bunch of ways to understand exactly how these procedures and these pieces of information and technology work. I mean, that must come with a little bit of risk and a little bit of worry to be so brave as to really invite people into the procedures that are being offered and the work that's being done. What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, and I guess you just saying that makes me more nervous about doing it. But honestly, I think it's really great, like being able to use technology to be able to communicate with patients. I mean, that's a bit of a game changer, as opposed to having to speak one-on-one with patients. If you can do that on scale and get a chance to reach out to many, many people and get your message out there is really wonderful. And I really have enjoyed that part. I love when patients, I saw your something or another, and I really learned a lot from it. I mean, that means a lot for us. I think it's important, as sometimes medicine is behind this kind of cloak, sort of it's hidden and we don't understand it. The terminology is difficult to understand, possibly intentionally so, I don't know. But bring it down to more sort of human level so everyone can understand it, everyone can appreciate what's going on. I think that's really important. I mean, one of our philosophies is really, do unto others as you would as you want them to do unto you, like treating people the way you want to be treated. And I think bringing that information, bring it down to a level that's understandable, because it all kind of makes sense. And I think shining a light on these things is really helpful. And I think it's been helpful for our patients, So I think that it's really been a good thing. Like I really enjoy when a patient really understands what's happening. It gives me a great sense of comfort because as long as they know what to expect, then they're going to get the outcome that they want, which is really very important. And at the end of the day, I say to patients all the time, I'm only happy if you're happy. I want a happy patient. And so I think that's a big part of it as well.
Look into your crystal ball.
Yeah.
In our province, in our region, and the state of healthcare and the opportunities via technology and remote access to service and the implementations of technology in the day-to-day operation of your clinic and in healthcare in general. Where do you see this going, and how do you see that being a further benefit to the people in our province?
I love technology. Like, I think technology is amazing. We are constantly reinvesting technology at Jackman Eye Institute. It really is a big part of trying to provide the best possible care that we can and sort of strive for excellence as best as we possibly can. And I think technology is going to revolutionize medicine. Generally speaking, medicine has been slow to adopt technology. I mean, honestly, we're still using fax machines, which is like, fax machines, really? It's incredible. But like in the future, with the addition of AI, with the ability to sort of touch patients, virtually, I really see that sort of is going to change things dramatically in regards to how we do it. I actually really am very interested in being a big part of that. In the next, I see that the next 10 years, that's where we're going to continue to evolve Jackman Eye Institute. And I really think that all of medicine will need to go down that road. And I think Newfoundland is a perfect example of a place that could use it. We have a very remote geographical, sort of setup here with patients all across the island with a small population. So if we can touch them without them having to drive all the way in, that would be absolutely amazing to do follow-ups with them. So if we can have sort of different sites where patients can be, getting their testing and not have to make those transportation, I think that would be terrific. And really, we can do that. I mean, the technology is there today, but it's only getting better all the time. So I'm kind of excited by it, and I think it's important for all of us to not shy away from technology, but try to use it as best we can to provide the best care that we can. It doesn't replace fully the human touch. I think that's really important, but it can really allow us to leverage the skill sets of physicians and other health professionals to be able to help more people and to really provide better care.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
As usual, the time just flies by.
Yes.
But I hope you'll come back again and keep us informed about everything that you are doing with Lens and LASIK and Dr. Jackman's Eye Institute, so that we can all really make sure that we're paying attention to what we see and how we see, and to know that there's an amazing crew right down the street that can help us to do the things we need to do to keep our eye health where it needs to be.
Well, that's awesome, Donnie. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me here today, and thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Guys, fix your eyes, change your life. Lens and LASIK, the Jackman Eye Institute, do the Google, find all the social media, the videos, everything they have to say, and give them a call. They're going to hook you up. This is Out of the Fog. We'll be right back after this break.
Your opinion matters, and we want to hear from you. Get in touch with us using our viewer feedback line, your direct connection to shaping the shows you love. It's easy. Just grab your phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and take our quick survey. Share your thoughts, and let's make your viewing experience even better.
You're watching Rogers TV St. John's. This is Rogers TV.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog, and I'm a huge fan of live music and performance and events of all kinds. And so I said, who can I bring in to really talk about what's going on when it comes to those things? Well, of course, I'm here now with the one and only Steve Martin. What do you at?
Not much. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, I want to ask you before we go any further. You're a man of many hats. You're a leader. So it makes sense that you would put your time into executing events to bring a bunch of people together for good times. Am I right?
Absolutely, yeah. We've been at it for 10 years now, so
Wild.
10th anniversary.
Now, are you a musician by hand, or do you play a mean stereo?
Me in stereo, wife's a great musician.
Oh, really?
Me, not so much.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it, but I love music, so I had to find a way to be involved.
Well, exactly. And so, for the folks at home, let them know the amazing team that you work with and the name of that.
Yeah, so NL Promotions, we showcase live local entertainers. So we started 10 years ago. We've always seen tribute shows being brought to the island. With, of course, cast members that weren't from Newfoundland and Labrador. And knowing the level of talent that's showcased here in the province through various festivals and whatnot, we knew we could do that level of production with our own people. So we started in 2010, and 10 years later, we're bigger than we've ever been.
Take me back. It's the idea that you're going to do this. Who's around the table, and what was the first show that you decided that you would do?
So the first show was called the Ghost of Grand Ole Opry.
Okay.
I always feel that, especially in Newfoundland country, is a super safe. When you're doing these shows, there's a level of risk that you assume.
Sure.
And there wasn't a whole lot of people doing the tribute shows. So I signed a contract with Holy Heart Theatre. You make that jump and that plunge into it, and you panic for the next number of months, and you market it. But the Ghost of Grand Ole Opry, it was our first show. Lou Skinner, a former member of the Dukettes. I don't know if you've heard of the Dukettes.
Do we ever?
But
yes.
Lou was pretty pivotal in forming that group that hit the stage that night, and we did a number of shows after, and now we're in a pretty regular routine of 4 tours a year.
Oh wow, okay.
And we typically do some summer festivals as well and private bookings.
And so the types of shows that you put on the stage must have become a bit more diverse as well?
Yeah, absolutely. We did go down a road of everyone thinking we were a country-oriented production company,
right.
But that was due to COVID. We always had this dream of doing the Kings of Country, the Queens of Country, and bringing it all together, but
cool.
COVID kind of forced that down a much longer road.
Sure.
And then we brought Rock the Rock. So typically rock or country, but we feel we have the family now of qualified musicians of many genres. That we can do anything. We always say now it's not if you want promotions, if you want cover music. We are your go-to people.
Well, I think that's great, and it's good to niche into being able to say something that's very definitive like that, because you know what it's like. A lot of us in business life, especially in a smaller market where we perceive that we have to say yes to everything, that actually can work against us in terms of really getting to a place where we're known as and for a specific thing, which yes, sometimes we might wish that we could diversify what we do, but it's nice to have everyone know what we stand for and what the brand represents. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think our investment into live local talent and preaching that night after night on our stage, and showcasing some of like the Carla Pilgrims. And, Chris Feener on guitar, drummer Jeff Osmond certainly picking up names, and while we feel that we take care of our cast very well, there's also benefits, and they're getting bookings outside for other festivals. We're doing typically 7 shows a tour. Oh wow! From Burin Peninsula to the West Coast across. Sometimes when we get some assistance, we get to Labrador. But yeah, so I think that just continuously promoting the live, local, our own musicians has certainly benefited us, and has grown our brand over the last 10 years.
And what a brand it is. And when you think about the number of shows that you've done, I have to ask you, when you look back, what is one show or one performance, let alone, where you are in the crowd and you're like, wow, I am so proud to be a part of this?
I think each and every show tends to, I feel, get a little bit better. Like song choice is everything, and then we carefully pick out the level of talent that can go with that by the genre. Like I have to go back to the tour. We just did Rock the Rock Volume 2. So lately we've been establishing a brand like Rock the Rock, and if the crowd loves it enough, we'll come back with Volume 2. Yeah, sure. So crowd loved Volume 2 enough, so we'll be back for Volume 3. But Hotel California. And watching Jason Shepard and Chris Feener kind of play that iconic solo at the end with the double neck guitar and all, and hear the crowd reaction after, and then I always love taking artists and bringing them up to the lobby after the show so they can hear the reaction from the crowd, and it was a big moment.
That's a gift, and it's so funny that you cater to what the artists would love, but they're maybe a bit shy, or hoping someone like you will bring them up for that moment, because you're so right. The curtain comes down, they're back down into the pit or the change room, everyone's hobnobbing and they're just exhausted and going through all the emotions, but to get up there with the people and to feel the love and the appreciation for bringing that to their town or their region, that is a special experience that really, I think, would galvanize and continue to motivate them to seek out those opportunities to be with the people that are paying to come see them do their thing. Yeah. And there's a distortion in our industry, is we often don't embrace or realize how easy it is to embrace the feedback from the people in the crowd.
Especially the first timers who are hitting our stage, and we make sure that we introduce them early, and it's known that it's the first time on the stage, and watching them look at the seats, the soft seaters, and it's pretty special to see, especially after they get their first show under their belt. Yes. It's pretty awesome to see.
Well, what's awesome is the fact that you and your crew for 10 years plus have been given a stage to artists we love, exposing them to new audiences who love them back, growing their career. You're loving the energy of that. It seems like a triple win for all hands, you know?
Yeah, it's going really good, and I must say, like, we have our people now, and we're always willing to grow. You know, we took Chanel Lewis, for example, came on for her first tour with Rock to Rock Volume 2.
She's unreal.
It was actually like we did Landslide by Fleetwood, and her Stevie Nicks was like, if you're in the tribute game, and we're not ones to dress up and perform. We don't want people. We want them showcasing themselves, their own identity. I don't want them I don't want them coming out as Stevie Nicks.
Sure.
But her, like, she's a country lover, but her rock voice is something else. And she, like, her video was significant amount of views as we marketed the tour because, like, the voice significantly resembled Stevie.
Yeah, and you hear her do All Fired Up by Pat Benatar, and you will never stop hearing it.
She did it in the tour.
We're at time.
Yeah.
I talked to you all day about this. I'm so proud that you're doing what you do, and I'm happy that so many artists are benefiting from you and your crew doing these events. Before we go to the break, what's coming up?
Our 10th anniversary show is coming up in May, so we are doing 5 dates. It's our biggest cast ever. We're taking a cast of 12 across Ireland. We're doing May 7th in Clarenville, 8th in Grand Falls, Windsor,
yes, sir,
and the 9th in Corner Brook. We have the Skip Gander, unfortunately, because Come From Away has taken over the theatre, but we're hoping to bring it in September. And then we are in Carbonear June 6th, and we're finishing it all at Holy Heart Theatre, where it all began, on June 7th. So we very much look forward to it. And listen, we always hear that we can't wait for the next one. We can't wait for the next one. So we have very loyal fan base that come to all of our shows, and we can't thank them enough.
Well, I can't thank you enough. So thank you so much for what you're
thanks
doing.
For having me. We appreciate it.
Oh my God, come back and hang out again and tell me more about what's coming.
Absolutely.
I love it. Thank you so much. Live music right across the province. NL Promotions. Thank you so much. We'll be right back to wrap after the break. Welcome back, everybody. This is Out of the Fog. Well, did you know that the Irish Descendants are celebrating 35 years? We're going to throw to a video right now of the boys doing their thing. Check it out.
Chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your loving mind, to feel you all around me, to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When sundown hails the sky, I wanna hide a while behind your smile. Everywhere I look, your eyes I find. And standing in your heart is where I want to be, I long to be. But I may as well try and catch the wind. When rain has hung the leaves with tears, I want you near to kill my fears. Help me leave all my blues behind. For me to love you now would be the sweetest thing, it would make me sing. But I may as well try and catch the wind. In the chilly hours and minutes of uncertainty, I want to be in the warm hold of your loving mind. To feel you all around me, to take your hand along the sand. But I may as well try and catch, but I may as well try and catch the wind.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, what a wicked episode here again tonight. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris Jackman. A very amazing human, as you saw tonight, taking care of so many, and huge thanks to his incredible team who help him do what he does. Thank you so much to Steve Martin and his team from NL Promotions and all the incredible artists that he brings right across the province. And a big up to Irish Descendants, 35 years, no big deal. All this and more you saw tonight. Tell a friend, and we'll see you right here, Rogers, next time.
This program is brought to you by Rogers Xfinity, connecting you to more of what you love. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
We want to hear from you. Provide feedback on this show or find out how you can get involved. Call, email us, or scan the QR code to take our quick survey.
Canada is at a crossroads, facing an affordability crisis, strains on healthcare, and climate change. Get to know the candidates running to be your MP and represent your interests in Ottawa. Hear from your local candidates during Rogers TV's coverage of the local campaign. And on election night, Rogers TV delivers the local results. Rogers TV. Watch, learn, vote.
I'm a singer-songwriter from Six Nations, and I've been writing songs about my experience, and with that being said, it's helped me hold hope in my heart in following my dreams and being resilient to everyday Indigenous battles. Competition between spirit, earth, and wind, let me tell you now. This song in particular, The Shiner, is a special song that I wrote for my grandfather. He was a snow